I've heard you say we have an energy availability crisis or something to the like. And that's something, again, that confuses a lot of people, especially when we see overweight people, because in the evidence-based crowd, again, it's just they've got a surplus of energy. They should just eat less and move more, which I've heard you say is some of the worst dietary advice of our time. So explain that a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's the worst health advice we could possibly give people. And the reason for that is it's confusion around terminology, right? So you'll hear people say, well, of course you're going to lose weight in a calorie deficit because thermodynamics. And if I make a video that says people can be in a technical calorie deficit and storing body fat, people will say this violates thermodynamics, whatever. So, but you're sitting here in the terminology, right? So it's like thermodynamics, energy can either be created or destroyed, all these different things, right? You're making an assumption that if you're in a calorie deficit, that the body is automatically going to pull from fat stores, which is not what happens. And this is where you have, I don't know if you know this term, it's kind of recent, like the last 10 years where it's really become sort of an epidemic, which is sarcopenic obesity. Sarcopenic obesity is people with very low skeletal muscle mass, osteoporosis, and they are obese.
Yeah.
You put that person in a calorie deficit, like their bones are falling apart. Their muscle mass is melting away. And they're still storing body fat. Why is that? Because storing body fat is not a bad thing. It's an adaptation mechanism for the body trying to survive in an unnatural environment. And this is why the calories in, calories out crowd is so harmful. Because one of the number one reasons that the body stores body fat is to pull toxins out of the bloodstream and store them in a safe place so they don't cause problems.
Yeah.
Right? So there are all these different mechanisms from the beginning of like beta oxidation and glycolysis all the way down to the electron transport chain, all of these sensitive little steps that can be impacted by inflammation, that can be impacted by toxins, that can literally turn the fat storage switch on. It can tell the body, yo, we need to store some fat, right? Same with seed oils. Seed oils impacting phospholipid membranes at the level of the mitochondria and the cell. People are wasting ATP. They're not creating ATP. They're losing energy. So you end up with people, it's very clear. If you've ever worked with obese people, most of them come to you, let's say they're 150 pounds overweight. They are going to tell you, I'm tired all the time. I'm cold all the time. My hair is falling out in the shower. I have no libido. I'm in a bad mood. I can't get to the gym because I just can't bring myself to get up off this couch. Like, this is very clearly an issue of low energy. Now, if we decide to have that person fast, if we put them on a dry fast for 14 days, they're going to lose some body weight. Yes. But is that good for their metabolism?
Right.
No. So it's become this game of weight loss at all costs, no matter what. And I take the opposite approach, is if we nourish the body to correct all of this dysfunction that is telling the body to store fat when it shouldn't be storing fat, that's where a lot of the benefits come in. So it's like we're focusing on the entire world of cold plunging, fasting, working out, keto, carnivore, low carb, all these things is just lipolysis, lipolysis, lipolysis. We want to burn as much fat as possible. And they don't pay attention at all to the fat storage side of things, which is critically important. Because when someone is in a state of ketosis, they are burning more fat, more lipolysis has happened. They're also storing more body fat. So it's the same, right? If we like pump your system full of sugar, you're going to have high blood glucose levels. If we pump your system full of ketones, you're going to have a high ketone level if you measure the blood marker. It's why you can take ketone IQ and immediately be in ketosis by a blood draw, this kind of thing. So it's really focusing on improper mechanisms. So most of diet culture advice is actively harming individuals.
All right, friends, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Radical Health Radio. We got a fresh new podcast for you every Wednesday. If you enjoyed the show, consider liking, subscribing, reviewing, and rating us on your podcast platform. It helps us spread this message of radical health. We'll see you next week.